Would you like to be able to command a premium price for your company in the financial markets? Well, if that is your aspiration, you better be a disruptive innovator. Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Zeischer, and this is the 41st in a series of short videos designed to help entrepreneurs and executives succeed with their companies. And with that, let us consider the first introductory slide. And I am going to be using my own book called Zeischer's Practical Handbook of Entrepreneurship and Innovation. And this information is found on chapter 1, which is called Entrepreneurship and Innovation. I am going to be using as my reference a very well-known professor at Harvard Business School, that's Clay Christensen. Clay Christensen, in his original book called The Innovator's Dilemma, was the one that first came up with the idea of a disruptive technology. So what is a disruptive technology according to Clay Christensen? It's an innovation that transforms a complicated or expensive product into an accessible, affordable product for a larger population. That is the official definition of a disruptive technology according to Professor Christensen. So let's take a look at some current examples of disruptive innovation. Well, for example, do-it-yourself online trading. You may remember that at one time you had to call a stock trader, you had to give them an order, whether it's to buy or sell or this or that, and your trader was the one that did everything for you. Well, now, by the click of a mouse, you can actually do this by yourself. And there is no question that home computing with all kinds of things has changed our lives. Just consider online buying. Well, most people now, almost 60% of us, buy something online. Now, this was unheard of 10 or 15 years ago. And so innovation is the key to explosive growth going forward. Well, as a result of that, if what you want to do is that you want to multiply your success, your sales, I'm going to present to you some mega trends that are definitely going to be in the disruptive innovation sphere. Well, one of them is the Internet of Things. Many people actually have not heard of Internet of Things, but physical objects, that is to say, things that are embedded with things like sensors, softwares, and algorithms that connect and exchange data over the internet. So examples of that would be smart offices. In your home, pretty soon your coffee is going to be made through the Internet of Things, or you're going to be able to cook through your Internet of Things. Self-driving cars, these are going to be part of the Internet of Things. Manufacturing, agriculture, etc. So one of the major mega trends is the Internet of Things. If you are in this space, you are essentially a disruptive innovator. Let's take a look at distance healthcare, and I'm going to spend some time in here. We already have a number of products which qualify as distance healthcare. One is a continuous glucose monitor. It takes the information about the amount of glucose that is circulating in your blood. It stores it into a device, and it sends it to your provider, to your healthcare provider. And the healthcare provider can then decide what to do, if anything, to continue in case that you happen to be a diabetic. The other one on the right-hand side, which hundreds of thousands of people are now using. I'm sure that you know that one of the problems with the heart is called atrial fibrillation. Well, here's a product that you can buy, and you place your two fingers on the monitor, and it actually checks out your EKG and looks for atrial fibrillation, and it tells you whether you have atrial fibrillation or not. And you can also send that information through the web to your healthcare provider. These are examples of current distance healthcare technologies. And I would like to make a distinction here between telehealth and telemedicine. Many people don't know the difference, so let's go into that to a certain extent because it is coming soon in your mailbox. What is telehealth? Telehealth is something which is preventive, it is curative, it could be educational. On the other hand, telemedicine is remote diagnosis and treatment. Pretty soon, rather than having to go to the doctor, you are actually going to be able to, through telemedicine, do most of your relatively simple types of medical care needs. The other megatrend is 3D printing or three-dimensional printing. Now, three-dimensional printing at one time used to be only plastics. Now you can do 3D printing by using plastics, metals, and here's one that you probably never heard of, living tissue. So for example, you might be able to do 3D printing of artificial skin for third-degree burn patients or complete organs. So 3D printing has come a very long way. Originally, it was used only for prototyping. Now it is being used more and more for the production of complex end-use components. So if you're in the 3D printing industry, you're probably a disruptive innovator. And here are examples and pictures of actual companies, actual equipment from companies who do 3D printing, and one in specific that I would like to talk to you about, which is stereolithography, that produces small feature resolution when you do 3D printing. It will allow you to produce products with very tight tolerances, and something that has just come out in the last 2 or 3 years, it actually makes products with finishes that have a very smooth surface. So these are 3 examples of mega trends. There are many more, but it would be beyond the scope of this short video. So I hope that this has given you some ideas as to how to get maximum value for your company. Thank you very much.